Happy Monday. How are all of you guys? Good morning. Good morning. Let me get myself situated here. It is 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on Monday. And so, yeah, it's a great way for me to start my week. I thought this would be a great time to meet up with you guys and start the week together. So how are all of you? I hope you guys are doing really well. As for me, I'm good. I'm feeling a little better. Still congested, but yeah, one day at a time, right? So, what the plan is, I guess, for Wake Up with Juan is to just go through my week, plan, organize, talk about a few things, and set ourselves up for success for the week. So, a few things to note. This Friday is Friday the 13th. If any of you guys are into that sort of thing. Me, I'm not really superstitious, but I know people who are, and for me, it just happens to be one of those days where everything gets pronounced. Like, what will go wrong could go wrong, and then it's just one step further. To me, Friday the 13th isn't just a regular Friday. It's just one of those days. Kind of like the full moon days. I find it kind of hilarious, if I'm being perfectly honest. Every now and then I sit back and I laugh. I'm like, wow, what a day we had. Anyway. Okay, so, all right. Today is Monday, February the 9th. And for today, we have a Whipping It with Juan happening today. I'm going to put it out there to you guys. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to be able to catch all of your comments on the question that I'm about to ask, but if I miss it this time, I will definitely include it for next time. So I want to put it out there to you guys. Are there any topics that you would like me to discuss in the Whipping It with Juan sessions? If you have a question, I like to always pull questions from various videos. But if you have a question that you would like me to answer or a topic you would like me to discuss, I'll definitely take those. So just sound off in the comments today, or for the replay, you can just leave a comment there and then I will pull it eventually. Okay? And it could be anything Yarny related. I will definitely pencil down and use that as a talking point for Whipping It with Juan, because you guys know I love to talk about all things yarn. So, yeah, definitely appreciate that. Let's see. Sarah is asking, how do you clean edges when you finish a blanket? Well, there's tons of different ways. But yeah, that is a very good topic. How do you clean edges? How do you clean edges when finishing a blanket? Okay. Blanket. That's from Sarah, right? Sarah? Yeah, Sarah. Perfect. Okay. Good morning, Miss Reptile. Thank you. I am feeling a little better. I've been taking my medication regularly. I've been taking my supplements and things, staying hydrated, and I'm just going through the motions at this point. And hopefully one of these days, very, very, very soon, I'll come on and everything will be just peachy. Do you block, and which method do you use? Very good question. And that's from Jill. Do you block, and which method do I use? Perfect. My nose is deciding it wants to run, so please forgive me in advance. You'll see me tap my nose here. I tried to avoid that at all costs. I don't like having to do that, but I'm sure you guys understand. What time is it where you are? Well, here it's exactly 4:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. A cat's paradise, if you only knew. This is just a little slice of the pie. Do you like yarn? I don't know. Do I? It's in my name. Few hundred videos talking specifically about yarn. Yeah. I would say yes. I do like yarn. Anyway, I showcased a few of my works in progress on the live stream yesterday, and I want to tell you that I'm gonna put it out there for a goal for myself to finish one of the two knit whips that I showcased. So if you missed yesterday's live stream, I had this crow knit hat, which is being worked up on number 13 US number 9mm circulars. And I've got my 25 rounds. I'm going to be working on my decreases to close off the top, and then I'm going to turn it upside down and anchor on 9mm single crochet stitches using a prim hook to finish off the brim. So I'm halfway finished. I believe this one will be the one that I get done by Friday. The push goal is to get this one done. So this is also a hat, but I'm working it like an Addict hat. So I'm going to go 150 rounds with this, and then I'm going to fold it in on itself and close off the ends, and then fold it in as a brim. I thought about adding ribbing and all the things to this, but I think feeling how this is doubled up, I really like how thick this is. So that's kind of the goal here. So yeah, I'm about a third of the way done. Again, push goal is to get this completed as well. 150 rounds I need. So yeah, very, very nice. Just a question to throw out there. How many of you guys lose your crochet hooks? You think you know exactly where they're at until you can't find them, you know? That's always the case for me. I'll sit there, I'll be watching my favorite show, I'll be hooking on a project, I'll sit it to the side to, go do something. I'll come back and I'll completely forget where I put the hook. And so in the moment, I can't find it, so I'll go grab another one the same size, And then later on, when you go to clean, you're finding hooks everywhere. You're like, wait, where was this? I'm always losing hooks. Hooks, notions, scissors, little project snips, to cut off your ends and things like that. And then, okay, so we all have our spot, right? So whether it's like the end of a couch or your favorite recliner or your favorite, accent chair, whatever, in the sides, okay, I feel like there's little teeth on the sides of the chairs where it eats the notions, it eats the hooks and all the things, And in the moment, you really don't think to put your hands down there to go and look. You just assume that, you may have lost it somewhere else until you got to remove the cushion and you push down and everything just comes out. I'm like, oh my, that happened to me. I'm like, oh my goodness. I was looking for these J hooks and all of a sudden here they all are. So yeah. Oh my goodness. I feel like my ADD coupled with short-term memory loss, I feel, doesn't really make for a good recipe. Trying to remember the hook size for projects, and listen, I could literally tape the hook to the work or to the ball bin and I'll still forget. Yeah, I don't know. I've taken pictures of my work with the actual hook. I have left hooks in the whip baskets, and I'll still ask myself, am I sure I used this size for this project? Maybe I just put it in here because I wanted it off the floor or I wanted it off the desk and I sat it there for just a moment. Was this really the hook size that I used for the project? So, I'm getting better with it, but I feel like I could do better. So I'm going to work on that this week. I'm going to work on that. Oh, yeah. And yeah, so someone's mentioning with the missing socks, my dryer eats socks. I think my dryer has teeth and, a digestive system because, yeah, every now and then I find myself having to buy a pack of socks. I have no idea where they go. Between the washing machine and the dryer machine, they disappear. Thank goodness I'm not a sock knitter. You know, I'd be very disappointed to put my superwash in the washer and then, you know, all of a sudden there's no sock. Oh my goodness gracious, I can't believe it. All right, so we've got two little topic questions or suggestions for the Whipping It with Juan session. I'll keep my eyes peeled for anything that you guys pepper in there, and I'll check the replay. So if there's a topic that you're wanting me to discuss or talk about for the Whipping It with Juan for this week or next week, just leave your question or your topic suggestion in the chat and or in the replay. Okay? I would really appreciate that. Time to tap. Give me a second. It's leaking like a sieve. I do apologize. Okay, so just a reminder, this week is Taco Tuesday. It's the last week for season number 5. I can't believe we've been doing it for 8 months consecutively. 8 months, season 5. This is week number 4, but we've alternated weeks. So technically this is 8 weeks into season 5. So season 5 has been a stretch. It's, you know, and that's because we peppered in Let's Chat Stitches in between. So season 5 technically would have been over had it been every single week. But because we're sharing Tuesdays with Let's Chat Stitches, 8 weeks, it's been, wow, I can't believe it's been 8 weeks. That's insane. Anyway, the challenges for Taco Tuesday, just a little reminder for those of you guys who may not have seen it. We have a season-long challenge called Stash and Scraps. So you're working through your stash, you're working through your scraps to just make projects. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. For me, I'm making donation blankets, I'm making donation hats with my adding machine. So it's a great way to just bust through all of those little small cakes and balls and things that I have no need to keep in stash. So I'm doing that. We also have a challenge. It's the 5 minutes a day challenge. So the challenge is to crochet or knit or work with your craft for at least 5 minutes a day, every day for 14 days. If you miss a day, no harm, no foul, just jump right back on. And I'm hoping for decent participation because whether you work these other challenges or not, the vast majority of the viewership I know works on some sort of a craft, whether that's knit, crochet, latch hook, you name it. And so that's the hope. And as for the actual challenges, there are 2 other challenges that we have out there. It's to crochet a heart pillow. Now, I don't have a tutorial on my channel for a heart pillow, but I highly recommend that in the search box, you type how to crochet a heart pillow if you're not sure how to crochet one. There's tons of tutorials out there. Take your pick. They come a dime a dozen. I mean, there's just so many out there. I have yet to do one, and I'll tell you it's because I don't really have anybody to give it to. Everyone's like, just give it to your mom. Do you know how many heart pillows my mom has for me? More than I could shake a stick at or throw a rock at. Anyway, she's got all the heart pillows. Not crocheted, of course, but she's got tons of heart pillows. So I have no need or desire to crochet one. If I do, I'll probably pepper it in sometime between today and tomorrow. I don't know. But if I do it, it's going to be a little small one. And last but not least, we have placemats. So we've discussed 2 weeks ago on Tuesday that a placemat set is 2 or more. We had that whole discussion in the live stream. Feel free to check it out if you're interested. Any size, any color, any theme, placemats, just has to be 2 or more. Okay? So, yeah. Very, very nice. So those are the challenges for Taco Tuesday. And the other thing that I want to put out there is this Tuesday will be the last Tuesday we host Taco Tuesday or Let's Chat Stitches on a Tuesday. We're going to be moving that live stream to Wednesday, midweek lives. Okay, so next week on Wednesday, the 18th, is when we will be hosting our Let's Chat Stitches. So all of that will move to a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday. Okay, I should write that down to remind myself. Let's Chat Stitches, Let's chat stitches on February the 18th. Okay. And so what I'm going to do for Tuesday is to post other content, whether that be a tutorial, whether that be just a pre-planned video. I mean, for me, it offers balance between, you know, the planned content and the live streams. You know, there's just one in the beginning, one in the middle, and one in the end. So all of my live streams, with exception to my Sunday live, is always 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. My Sunday live streams will be 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're always 6 p.m. Let me write that down. 6 p.m. EST. And all the other ones are 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you're just peppering in, thank you guys so much for waking up with me this Monday, this very cold and brisk Monday. What's the temperature where you're at? I have to tell you, it feels like negative 25 outside with the wind chill and just a super cold, like my house, I mean, with the heat and all, there's still this underlying chill in the air. And when that happens, I know it's because it is super, super cold outside, you know? And it's at a temperature where if I go outside without anything on just to take in the air, it kind of takes your breath away, you know? Negative 20 here in Ontario. Oh my goodness gracious. Minus 16. Whew. Or 16. I need my contacts checked. 9 degrees, high of 28 today in Mass. 27 degrees in St. Louis. Oh my goodness. Florida, 43 degrees currently. Oh my stars. In the low 40s outside. Too cold. Too cold is absolutely the truth. Oh my goodness. I'm going to check my weather. Hold on. So it's currently, for some reason I'm reading Celsius. Hold on. Let me click. So it's 9 degrees here. And in Celsius, it's negative 13 degrees. Negative 13 Celsius, 9 degrees Fahrenheit. And what is the high going to be for today? It looks like the high is going to be 33 degrees. Huh. 33 for the high. Allegedly. You know, the temperatures are so strange. You know, with our winter weather, the thing that surprises me about winter, you know, especially if, you know, you live in a climate where you have all 4 seasons. Like here, we get all 4 seasons. I think the thing that bothers me most is the unpredictability of how severe the weather may get, because we have mild winters and then we have severely cold winters. Like last year's winter was very mild in comparison to this year where it's so cold. There's just this lack of consistency, and I know that's just kind of how the weather works. But the same thing could be said about the summers. The summers, some summers aren't as bad as others. I feel like this past summer wasn't as bad as the year before. The year before, I mean, it was just ridiculous. How many of you guys remember me going live in the summertime and my equipment stops working because of how hot it gets? I remember that. I remember having to record my live stream from the inside of my freezer just to finish the live stream. So, you know, it's the unpredictability part for me that has me saying anything at all to begin with. If there was more of a consistent window between temperatures, I would totally like understand, you know, but it is what it is. Question, what are those blocks behind you in front of your pictures? This. So this is one of my whips. I am working on a project here I'm glad you asked. So for those of you guys who haven't seen these yet, I am working up with this kit. So you can find this on Amazon. It's Inscraft. Crinkle alert. I'll try to keep the crinkles to a minimum, but it's called Inscraft, Inscraft. I've got a link for these if you're interested in checking them out. They go on sale regularly. This is the 62 count pack where you've got 62 different shades of 35 yard skeins, and it's a medium 4-weight yarn, and you get 5 packs in this bag, right? And in the pack, let me sit that down there. It comes with these crochet hooks. You get a 4.5 and a 5.5 millimeter tapered hook, and then you get 2 darning needles, and you get stitch markers in there. And one of those skeins gives you 6 rounds of a granny square, and you get this much left over. Not enough to go around a 7th time, but just enough to hold on to it to maybe collect it and put it together with another make. Now, I gave my 2 cents on this last night, but I will mention it again. Be mindful of the hook that you choose when you work this. This yarn has a tendency to be splitty depending on your hook. Now, I used a Susan Bates hook, and I had absolutely no problems with this. To me, it worked up like butter, but the feedback that I've been getting from some of our viewers is that it's very splitty and staticky. So if that's the case for you guys, the suggestion from me would be to lotion up your hands. Make sure your hands are moisturized, because when your hands are moisturized and you're working up with staticky yarn, it actually eliminates that electricity factor, so it's less staticky if you're just making sure your hands are moisturized. So yeah, those are my hooks. That's the equivalent of 2 of those packs. So the goal is to have them all done, right? I have 3 packs to go. Get them all done, and then I'm going to take one of my big skeins here, and I'm going to crochet and join as I go. I'm going to join it all together in one project. Okay? Or rub a dryer sheet over the skein, right, Kim? Exactly. But look at your hands. If they're dry, moisturize. Moisturize your dry hands. It always, always, always helps to moisturize. Keeps your hands looking wonderful. Okay, so those are the squares. Also, too, a little shout out for the Sunday Post beanie, guys. It's been out for quite a while, but for some reason it's picking up some traction. And that usually happens with some of the projects that I put out. It doesn't really gain traction right away, but eventually some of the projects, you know, actually catch on and people are like, ooh, what's this? So my Sunday Post beanie was actually created during a Sunday live stream. I used to do verticals on Sunday, and like Sunday morning. And one Sunday morning I came on and I started crocheting a beanie, and I did it on the fly with you guys on a live stream. And so I named it accordingly. So Sunday, because it was created on a Sunday, and it's full of post stitches. So here it is. It's my Sunday Post beanie. I have a written pattern for this on my Ravelry if you're interested. Also, I've got the free video tutorials on the channel. So if you're interested in this, feel free to check that out. The yarn that I used was Premier Bamboo Chunky. This is a chunky 5-weight yarn. And the great thing about this project, guys, is it looks like you're going to have a lot of ends to sew in, but you don't. Let me show you this. I'm going to flip this inside out. You actually carry the stitches up through your project. This is what it looks like on the inside. And so you sew in your ends right here, you know, and you're carrying up the yarn all the way through your work here. So it makes for a very clean inside, you know, appearance as well. And then when you go to flip it on the outside, You have no fault line. It looks great all the way around. And I gotta tell you guys, as much as I want to be a beanie wearing person, I don't have the head shape for it. I like making them. I just don't have the head shape for it. I'm more of a hat person. So this is a beanie, right? This is my cronut hat. Look. So this is another one of my creations. So, yeah. Again, I like making these for people who love wearing beanies or love making them. So, yeah. Feel free to check that out if you're interested. All right. And it's a unisex beanie. You can make that for whoever you want to make it for. You like the cronut hat on me, Norma? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I do too. I have this, I mean, I wish I had one of those universal head types where I could wear a beanie or a hat. But the truth is my head shape leans towards hat. Very, very nice. I'm moisturizing my lips, guys. Stay moisturized. This cold weather does tend to make the air very, very dry. Okay, so let's move on. So we're now on to Wednesday and Thursday. I have to tell you guys, I have been trying to get tutorials out for the last couple of weeks, but for those of you guys who are aware, I've been under the weather for a few weeks. Actually, truth be told, I've been under the weather since Thanksgiving, on and off. And I don't know, I think it's just a seasonal thing. I haven't been able to fully get over a cold in particular. I don't know if it's just because of the constant cold in the weather, or I don't know what it is. But anyway, as soon as my congestion clears up, I will put out a tutorial. I don't want evergreen content sounding like I'm stuffed inside of a glass bottle. So as soon as this clears up, I will go ahead back and put in the tutorials. The goal is to have some of these tutorials out this week, specifically Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to pencil in the goal is to put out a tutorial on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday tutorial. I can't tell you exactly which one it will be, like what they will be. I'm going to try. And I'm going to give myself grace if I can't do it. If I'm still congested, it is what it is. But just know that I have full intentions on putting out tutorials this week. So I have stitch tutorials that have to come out. The swatches are already done. I have a border tutorial that has to come out. It's ready to go. I have hats and scarves and I mean time. Yeah. Time isn't my friend right now, but we'll get through this one day at a time, right? We're leaking again, sorry. Okay, so that takes us to Friday. So Friday we have podcast number 121 coming out. I'm going to plug away at my whips. I'm going to try and get some finished objects done this week. Every week I try to have a donation blanket done. I have a feeling I'll have one of those done this week. I'm very excited about it. Stay tuned for that. The whips, I'll showcase updates on my whips and things. I've got tons of them. In fact, I want to do a video where I pull all of my UFOs. I figure with it being February, could we potentially call this Finish It February? Is February going to be the month where I finally finish all of my UFOs? Am I able to get it done? February is traditionally a smaller month than some of the other months, but could I get some of these UFOs done? I say yes to some, but to all, not sure. But one could hope, you know? So what I'll do is I'll rustle up all of my UFOs and line them up and kind of take inventory as to like how far I am with each one. So I feel like that could be a potential video coming up. I'll talk about all of my UFOs and my plans to get them done. I've done that before when I had over 20. I will tell you that I'm under 10 at the moment. So I've been very good about not starting too many new projects. So I'm very excited about that. keep you guys posted about that. And I think that's going to be a very good video because, you know, setting personal goals for ourselves is something that I feel as crafters we should do for ourselves, especially when you've got multiple projects going, right? You know, how many projects is too many? Well, technically there is no right or wrong answer to that, but the most honest answer is however many you can handle. And sometimes we get to a point where we have more than what we could handle at any given moment. So how do we get past that barrier? How do we say, okay, well, I have too many at the moment. How do I get past this? How do I get to a more manageable situation? You know, because there were moments, I'll be perfectly honest with you guys, there were moments where I felt overwhelmed. I had so many moving parts going on. It was hard to maintain. It was hard to manage. Just know that it is manageable. You can get past it. It's literally a process that one must go through. And so maybe in this video, I'll take inventory and, you know, kind of talk my points through with you guys, because I've gotten through it before. We'll get through it again, you know? So there is that. Hold on, let me take a sip of this. You want to see a UFO? So I have one here. Here's one of my UFOs. This is a raglan style crocheted sweater. And we've got this ribbed neckline here. Really, really nice. And the yarn here, do I have a skein here? No, I do not. I don't have the yarn here with me, but this is one of my UFOs. I'm using an 8mm US letter L crochet hook. I absolutely love how tight the neck is. And I'm almost finished the yoke. I think I have 1 or 2 more rounds to go before I'm finished. And then I'll work on the trunk and then the sleeves. So I love how this feels. And you know, I'm not one for wearing yellow, but I have to tell you, with the blue and the cream, it kind of pulls it together, and I actually like the combination very much. So yeah, super, super nice. And believe it or not, my neck pattern here is literally single crochets in the back loop. It starts out as a strip, single crochet in the back loop, and I go all the way around, and then I connect it, right? So I make this loop, and then I lay it flat, and then I put my stitch markers where I want my lines to come down for my raglan. And then that's kind of how I do it. So is this vintage yarn? No, this is Premier yarn, and this is acrylic. This is acrylic yarn. Yep, for sure. I'm having brain fog at the moment. Oh, what is the name of this yarn? Thank you so much, Kim. Premier Canyon Colors. Premier Canyon Colors. Absolutely love how this works up. Again, I'm using an 8mm US letter L crochet hook. And the reason why I paused on this, okay, I would have had this done. I take pause because this is the second time that I'm crocheting this up. And I think for me, it's the hang up of like how far to go before it becomes too much. Do I want a drop sleeve? Do I want, you know, extra play on either side? You know, positive ease is what they call it. When you have all of this wiggle room in your work, it's called positive ease. So right now, I'm not sure how much positive ease I want with my sweater. I do want positive ease, but how much is too much? You know, so before I commit, I said, let me take a pause and figure out what I'm doing. But anyway, this is one example of a UFO that I have that I could potentially talk through and kind of make plans for and set a goal for myself on getting this done, you know? I find that these kind of videos are good for me in that I'm setting goals for myself, but then also good for you guys because perhaps you have whips that you want to, you know, organize and take inventory and account for and maybe set goals for yourself on. So, yeah. I'm going to goal for video for that. Goal video. UFOs. Okay. Yes, and can we give a shout out to the mods? We have some pretty amazing mods. I have an amazing team, guys. And I have to tell you, my sanity remains intact because of my team. I have a great team of people that support me here, especially with the trolls that happen to pop in. I don't know what it is, you know, with some of these viewers. They see a male yarny person, or any yarny person in general. I think they're just trolling to be trolling. But thank you guys. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Penn, and all the other mods for helping me out. I really appreciate that. I thought I saw Jill here. Is Jill here? I need to make sure. Okay, okay, I did give her. Did you guys notice the wrenches are gone? They're now these, what they look like, shields. Is that new? Well, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. She says, a great team supporting a great creator. I do appreciate that very, very much. It's shields now. Oh. Yes. And, you know, I will tell you, you know, I feel like there are moments where, you know, I could give my team more flowers for the work that they do. So I greatly appreciate that. There are moments where we have trolls coming in left and right, and they're just whacking them away. So thank you guys so much for that. Because I'm oblivious, you know. The less I see, the more calm I am. So the fact that I'm not aware of like what's going on just lends itself to how great they are. So yeah, they show up as wrenches on the television. Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. I'm so sorry for that. I don't like sniffing or patting or anything. I'm sorry. We'll get past it, guys. Hopefully this will all dry up by the next time you see me. We'll see. All right, so that is the plan for the week, I feel. Let me pull this paper back out. Do we have any other suggestions for the Whipping It with Juan? Any topic suggestions you guys would like me to blab on about? I would definitely appreciate that. I'll be checking the replay notes. I'll work on the studio for a little while to give it some time before I actually record the Whipping It with Juan. I like to do that video in the morning so that I can, you know, do all of my admin work. Today is usually the day I do all of my admin work for the channel. I'll answer emails. I'll go through all of the things. I'll send out packages. So I'll give it some time before I actually record the video. But yeah. What about unpopular crochet opinions? I love those. Could it be controversial? I mean, I don't know. Unpopular crochet. Where did it go? I just saw it. Unpopular crochet. Where is it? Opinions. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Can you explain what a palette cleanser is? What is a palette cleanser? Yes. What is a palette cleanser? And what are my... Oh, yes. That's a great one, Michelle. What are my favorites? And I do have some favorite palette cleansers. Favorites. Talk about how the yarn types are and what they are called. Yarn types, yep. See, that some of this could lend itself to being a whole video on its own. Yarn types. Yep. I've actually done a video like that a few years ago. Maybe it's time for another one. Let's see. Checking. I want to make sure I get all the things. I was thinking about that. I want knitting needles for my birthday. Oh, by the way, I took some time and I organized my knitting needles, guys. Oh my goodness. Do you guys want to see very quickly? I mean, I'm not going to dig into the crux of it all, but let me show you my knitting needles. Hold on. So here are my circulars. not this. These are all like random notions. These are my circulars. I need to organize these by size. If you peel back the layers, you can kind of see. I think I have all the sizes. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think that's just. At least I know they're all circulars in here. You know, my circular knitting needles, and also I have an Afghan hook in here. This is an old school Afghan hook. So these are just circulars. I feel like I'm missing some. I have to take account for all the sizes. But yeah. There's that one. And here are my straight. Well, this one's a little heavier. These are my straight needles. Well, I have safety eyes, my little Nook kit, but here they are. I've got a whole section of DPNs in here. So my DPNs are also included in this set. I'm trying to peel back the layers so you guys can see. But yeah, I keep all of my straight needles in here, including DPNs. Straight needles aren't as popular as circular needles, but I feel like there's a purpose for all of the things. So it's good to have, you know. Anyway, it's all the things. I feel like if I peel back the layers of the onion, I'm going to unearth things. But yeah, I have been organizing. All of these circulars and straight needles were in one box thrown in together. I actually sat here with music and I organized all of this. And I got these bins from Walmart, and each one I think was maybe $4 or $5. Not much, but I now have a space for all of them, which is really nice. And then in that same box, I had crochet sets. So I had these stuffed in the box as well, so I'll show you guys those. And I have some vintage knitting needle sets that I'll show you guys. These are vintage, very vintage. Some of these sets are incomplete, but so here's the first one. This is a boy circular knitting needle set with stoppers and all. I'm missing the one needle right here. Once I find it, I'll put it there. But that's the one. And here's the next one. This one is a complete set. Very, very vintage. And I'm trying, like, I don't want to use this because it's in mint condition. Every piece is in its place. Nothing is missing, I don't think. Actually, it looks like I'm missing my 16s, but once I find it, I'll put it in here. Very good. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, this set right here is Big Twist. This is my Big Twist crochet hook set. And I'm keeping this as a memento. I don't really care for these hooks, but Big Twist is a thing of the past when it comes to these these hooks. Wow, look at me. Anyway, so this is Big Twist crochet hooks. It goes from a 2.25 to a 6mm US letter J. So there's that one. Next, we have, I don't know what this is. I have no idea of the name. Clearly not a complete set. We have a Susan Bates stuffed in here. This here is a 5.0 US letter H crochet hook. So there's that. Next, I have this, which was gifted to me. Whoops. Sorry, guys. So the way this works is you pull this out, turn it around, and put it in, and you've got your crochet hook. And this is a 5mm US letter H. Is that correct? Yes. 5mm US letter H. And it goes up to a, what does it go up to? So G, E, F, G, H, D, E, F, G, H. So this is for a smaller set. D, E, F, G, and H. So H is the thickest hook, 5mm. So I don't really use this much because the hook sizes are very, very small. Well, let me turn that around. So just putting it inside this hollow tube, just like that. Next, we have this one, which goes from a C, a 2.75, to a J. A J is a 5.75 on this set here. Usually a 6mm. Actually, wait a minute, let me see. What is this? A 6.5 US letter K. So this is true to size, 6.5 US letter K, but the J hook is 5.75, which is slightly smaller than your standard US letter J of a 6. The I here is a 5.25, the H is a 5. So the I and the J is off on this, I feel. But the other sizes are true to size, and it comes with notions inside there. Very, very nice. This was gifted to me by a lovely viewer of the channel. Let me just set that there. Next, we have these. I purchased this off of Amazon. They're always out of stock. I tried getting another set of these. This is black onyx crochet hook set, and the smallest size here is a 3mm. That's a very, very small hook head. And it goes up to a 10mm US letter N. I bought it because of the range. So it goes from a 3mm to a 10mm. Very, very nice. It's not technically like black onyx, but it gives me that, like, you know, black metal, you know. And so this is the handle. And you just replace it with the size of your choice. You just insert it and you screw it closed. And now you have your crochet hook, and it's really nice, and it's long, and it is weighty. So if you're one that really you don't care for the weight of the hook, this is probably not for you. It's similar to the weight of a Furls hook. So a Furls streamline hook, it gives that kind of vibe. And for me, I like that balance of the weight, you know. So, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. I get it. So let me just put that in there, just like that. I'm always on the hunt for metal 7mm. So yeah, there is a 7mm right here. A 7mm hook. And it's like an inline. So it's not tapered, it's an inline. So if you like Susan Bates, this is going to be the set for you. Very nice. And then I have your classic and standard boy set. You can find this at Walmart. can get these on Amazon. You can get this everywhere. And, you know, I feel like as a collector of all things crochet, it was only imperative that I had this in my collection, even though I don't really go to this. This is not my go-to set, but as a fiber enthusiast of all things yarn, I felt like it was imperative that I had this. So, yeah. Last but not least, I have knitting needles here. I have no idea where some of these are. I'm not sure if I lost them or it came to me this way, but this is what the circular knitting needle set looks like. This is a boy set, very similar in packaging. So crochet hooks and knitting needles. This is the boy set. So good. All right. So those, I mean, I spent a good chunk of my day last week organizing through all of this. And so, proudest punch, of course. Now, I have yet to thoroughly organize my crochet hooks. Knitting needles, done, check. Crochet hooks, let me pencil that in. A push goal. Push goal, organize hooks. I may have to buy some of those bins for my hooks. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. Oh. If you don't know this about me, I am predominantly a crochet channel here. I want to say it's about 90% crochet, 10% all the other things. And so if this is what I have for knitting needles, you can only imagine what I have for crochet hooks. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be an adventure all within itself. Anyway, I digress. There's nothing like a good cup of something in the morning to get your day going, right? Absolutely love it. So I've got my push goals for the week. I need to put out some tutorials. We've got the outline for the week. I'm very excited about that. Saturday night date night is an institution. I love doing those with you guys. It's the one time of the week where I can sit back, relax, and just chill. I don't have any agenda. You guys, the audience, and I just sit back and we go back and forth. So I really enjoy that part. And then Sunday live, that also is a cornerstone of my channel. I've been going live every Sunday since December of 2023. Haven't missed a Sunday since, and I don't plan on it. Even without power, we've gone live inside the car. I mean, we've gone live inside of the refrigerator, the freezer. One way or another, we are going live. So I love that for us. So good. So yeah, I think I already put it out there that I'm writing down suggestions. Also too, what else did I want to mention? So for the next Let's Chat Stitches on Wednesday, I also want to talk about bringing up some, and I'll talk about this next Monday as well, just as a reminder, that I want to put out, I actually want to put up some more diagrams. So for those of you guys who are wondering what I mean, crochet diagrams, what I may do is walk everyone through how to actually do these, like in tutorial format. Like I'll have this on the table and I'll have my yarn in front of it, and then I'll crochet it with the diagram on the table so that we can actually walk through these diagrams together, so that that could potentially help those of you guys who are challenged by what these are and what they look like. So yeah, stay tuned for that. All right. So that is all I have for Wake Up with Juan. I feel like I'm ready to get my week started. Hopefully you guys are too. And with that, I bid you all adieu. I will stay tuned for your suggestions and your comments for the Whipping It with Juan. I hope to see some of those. So that is all from me for now. And until the next one, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. All right. Bye, guys.